Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to look at the common question, why can I play well in practice but I can't play well in a match? This crops up all the time, and in this video we're going to explore the psychology of why that is, and we're going to look at some practice routines and some frames and explain why it might be difficult to take your practice form into a match. Right, so firstly we're going to use this line-up routine to talk about the difference between practice and then playing in matches. Now a lot of times people are talking about practice routines like this. Why can't I make the same breaks in a frame of snooker as I make in practice like this? So let's look at a few shots here. Now I actually think that when you do something like a line-up, like we're doing here, so I actually think a good rule of thumb is that if you were to halve someone's highest lineup break, so divide that by 2, that will be someone's highest break in a frame. So let's say someone's got a high break of 70 in a lineup, then if you halve that and take that to about 35, I would then say that gives you a rough guide of what that person's highest break will be in a frame, or certainly kind of around about their average kind of standard. So when you're doing a lineup like this, obviously all the balls are possible, and I can keep playing position. So let's just explore for a second why the lineup is much easier than playing a frame of snooker. So I'm going to put myself on a black like this, so I'm nicely positioned on the black. Now this is the very, very common thing that happens. I'm just going to move these reds out the way just so I can show you the point here. Let's say I'm playing for these 2 reds here above the black. So that's what I'm going to play for. I want to get onto those 2 reds. So I'm going to play my shot. And then, can you see the way I've actually hit the cue ball too hard? I've lost the cue ball. But in a lineup, it doesn't matter because I'm on a choice of lots and lots of other reds. So I'm now on a choice of this red here. I'm on the one below the pink. I've got one that goes to the middle, so I could just play this one to the middle here and then screw back a little bit for the pink. So that is why the lineup doesn't hold you to the same high standards that you would find you would get in a frame of snooker. Okay, so now we're going to look at what we call the open table here. Now, obviously it's called the open table. There are no balls safe on cushions. Everything's nice and out in the open. So let's play a couple of shots here. So I'm just going to show you people practice here. And again, they would be much better here than they would be in a frame of snooker. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play no position at all on a red here. I'm just going to pop the black, let the white run up the table. So I'm playing no position here. I'm just going to play top of the white, no position, and just pop the black confidently. So just let the white run up the table. So I haven't played on a red here at all. And then this is what we find that, well, because the balls are out in the open here, I've landed nicely on another red. So let's just pop the red. So let's try and pot it as a little stun. Okay, that's nice. Now, let's just pick another one as another example. Let's pot even though it's a harder pot, I'm going to bridge over, pot the green, and just stun off the cushion and bring the white down to anywhere on the table. So, pot the green. Okay, so the white came down, I wasn't playing any position at all. Because these reds scattered around everywhere, I flicked into a red, and I've now got another one I can pot here, and I can just hold for the blue. So, you can see that obviously when I've got so much choice like this, it's not holding my positional side of my snooker to high standards. I'm able to just play the cue ball anywhere on the table, and I'm probably going to land on another red. Now I've set up a realistic frame situation. So this is kind of ball positions that we find in an actual frame of snooker. Now I'm going to give myself ball in hand here. I'm going to pop this first red, and I'm going to screw back for the black, and we're going to talk about why snooker is very precise. So I'm playing screw back on the white here, leaving a high black. So yeah, leaving this high black. Now I need to pop this black and I need the white to bounce off very precisely onto this red here. If I end up too high, I'm leaving myself in trouble. And if I end up too low, I'm leaving myself in trouble. So I've got to play a little touch of left hand side, a little bit of stun, get the cue ball to come off the black a bit wide. So it's coming off the black a bit wide like that. And then landing nicely on this red. Now I've landed very nicely on there to go through for the next black. Now, of course, if I underhit or overhit that shot, straight away I'm chasing the break. Now I'm going to play a shot where I'm going to try and leave an angle on the black so that I can split into these reds because I've got no more reds that pot here. So I'm going to play on and off the side cushion to make sure I've got a low angle. So this is maximum top spin, on and off the side cushion. So the white has bounced on and off. I've now got this low angle. So now let's try and go into the reds. Now I've got to try and get into these reds and try and land on a red. Now I've got, obviously, when you're playing frames of snooker here, you end up with one chance to try and split the balls. If you don't get it right, it's going to be end of break. So I'm now going into these reds. Got to try and get the pot. Yeah, I'm into them. And actually, yeah, I'm pretty happy there. Gone into the reds nicely. And now I've got another red. But of course, this again now is what happens in a real frame of snooker, that I've got one more recovery shot that I need to play now. So I've landed on a red here, but I've got to try and get to a colour. So I've got to try and dig in here and try and get the white off and up to the blue. If I land the wrong side of the blue, which I may do, it's putting me under pressure, and then the break is hard to continue. So let's dig down, try and get the pot. It's a bit of a recovery, this one. Yeah, and then we can see, exactly like I said, I've landed the wrong side of the blue. So it's difficult now for me to rescue the break. I've got to try and get back into good position. In actual fact here, I've been a little bit lucky that the pink goes. So I think I can play the pink. I'm just thinking, will it block? I think it should go in this gap here. So let's try and play the pink as a little screw back, and I've got the outside red. So yeah, little screw back. And then I've got, yeah, this bottom red. But you can see here all the time, this is why we would get more problems when we're playing proper frames of snooker. And now this red here, yeah, very important that I do try and get top side of the blue now. So going back, try and get just the correct side of the blue. But you can see me falling just the correct side of the blue there. That's where I've now rescued the break. I'm back in good position. I would need another cannon to bring these balls into play. But this is where, of course, you can see real snooker is far more precise than when you're doing exercises where you can land the cue ball just in kind of anywhere on the table and you're going to continue the break. Here, I've almost managed to get the ball perfectly, well, it is perfectly positioned on the blue to continue the break. So hopefully that gives you some idea there of why frames of snooker are much, much harder. Now, this is where the psychology comes into playing snooker as well. So when I'm practicing on my own, I haven't got to worry about my opponent coming to the table. So if I miss the black and I leave the black right in the corner pocket, I haven't got to worry about my opponent then getting an easy red and getting to the black. So that it doesn't really feel like there are many consequences. So if I just go through a few shots here, so let's say I'm playing a few of these, I feel nice and relaxed here. I'm in my own environment. If I do miss a shot, then it's okay because I can just set the balls back up again and then I can just carry on the routine again. I'm just playing, obviously, yeah, just playing by myself. So, yeah, I can pot this red now, just bounce on and off the cushion. So I'm doing all the correct things in my technique. I'm nice and relaxed because, yeah, if at any point when I miss, there's no real consequences. So let's say, for example, I play on this red. This is a hard red that, yeah, when you're break building, you'd be scared to play on it because, yeah, if I don't get this right, so if I now miss this ball, this is very important in a frame of snooker. If I miss this shot, I'm letting my opponent in, so I've got to be accurate. I've got to be nice and accurate, and I've got it. Now, I've got it because, well, if I do miss it, here, there are no real consequences. I can just carry on with my nice, loose cue action, potting balls. So let's have a look at how we need to approach it so that we can play a match under a bit less pressure. A big mistake that players make when they're actually playing frames of snooker or competing in competitions is they're actually trying too hard to win. So one of the things you've got to do is you've got to actually do a performance and let the winning take care of itself as a byproduct. So what I'm really interested in as a player here is doing some of the things I've talked about on this channel for years, where I'm standing up behind the shot, planning my shot, making sure I know exactly what I'm doing, going down into the shot, executing those things with my action and keeping still. And as long as I do that, then I've got my fair chance of winning. The other people are trying to win as well, but I'm more interested in doing a performance, acting like I want myself to act as a snooker player. So you're going through doing the correct things. So you can see here that Yeah, I'm just break building in the balls. But my biggest goal here is on just doing the correct thing. So I'm deciding now, okay, I'll pop this ball, go up to here, and I'll try and just concentrate on that. One little bite-sized piece at a time. If I can concentrate now on executing this shot, don't move, find that little gap, up onto the pink. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to perform as I would want myself to be as a snooker player. I'm taking my time, I'm standing behind the shot, I'm lining everything up, I'm getting down to the shot, I'm executing whilst keeping nice and still. And as long as I do all those things, I feel like I'll take the pressure off myself to have to perform perfectly every single shot, and the winning will take care of itself as a byproduct. Now, the last thing to talk about in this video is that means that what you practice away from playing matches and frames against other people is very important, so that you're practicing things that are just requiring that little bit of extra skill. So I'm going to make a mark where I'm just on a high kind of 3/4 ball black on the spot here. And I want to get the white onto these reds so that I can get back to the black each time. Now, that's what I'm trying to do. So what I would love to be able to do is get onto these reds and just get it so that I'm just high enough on the red, like I am there, that I could then get to, so I could do it either way here. I could screw it back a little bit, back to the black again, like this. But what I'm really interested in, I wouldn't even pop this second red. Let's go for the black on the spot. And let's see how many times in a row I can land on the red so that I could get back to the black. So that would be an acceptable one again. That's very good. I'm just high of this low red. Then I would put the black back there. But then very, very strict that I'm doing my pre-shot routine, standing behind the shot, looking at it, going down into the shot, making sure that it feels good, executing it, keeping still. That time I'm, high on the highest red of the two. That's good. So again, I'm behind the shot here, standing up, never rushing, going down into it, down into the shot, double check everything looks good, play it off the cushion, onto the two reds. So what's very important there is that I'm practicing something that's holding me to high standards. I'm not letting the white come up here like I would be in a lineup where I've got loads of reds to land on. I'm trying to precisely get the cue ball onto these reds here, which is much more beneficial sometimes than just doing those lineup. So as always, everybody, I really hope you found this video useful. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. For anyone that's interested in any personal one-to-one coaching sessions, I'm working on this very table all the time, helping players to improve their game. All my details are in the description box below, so if you have a look there, contact me and I'd love to help you with your game. As always, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for next week's video. Cheers.